everybody. Welcome to the brand new episode of GPRO Podcast. I'm your host, Jun Ho, and I'm here with a very special guest with me. It's Wen Chew. Hello.
Hello, hello.
How's everything going?
It's all right. Started working not too long ago, so I'm kind of a bit of life changes in a sense.
Mhm.
Going fine,
Yeah,
surviving. I think that's the best way to put it.
fair enough. So, am I right? You are in Singapore at the moment.
Yep. So
Yes.
I've relocated. So no more UK time zones, which might explain why my reduced activity during race time and
And
activity during random times of the day.
we did see that. We did see you're not on the majority of the so-called Europe time. So, but that's
Yeah.
fair enough. Are you there now? What, are you full-time working, or are you still studying, or?
Yeah, it's a full time work. So finally I'm actually earning some salary, but yeah, basically I'm working in a hospital in Singapore. Uh, yeah, so essentially long hours. Yeah, base.
Is it difficult? Because I would assume with the British, like with NHS, for example, in the UK, obviously, you get, like you said, there's really long hours, especially when you start off as like a junior nurse or a junior doctor or something like that. Is it very similar out in Singapore where you got to do like, let's say, like 12-hour shifts, maybe 4 or 5 days a week, maybe even more than that? Is it?
Yeah, so yeah, it's quite long hours. I mean, you're talking about sort of like my average day starts at about 6:30 a.m. in the morning. Right now I end quite nicely at about like 5 p.m. So not too bad, not too bad. But it's kind of like 5.5 days a week because you come in on one day in the weekend as well for half a day,
Hmm.
and on top of that you have like your course, which is basically like a 24-hour shift where you don't sleep the whole night.
Oh
That's the
God.
best way I put it. Yeah,
So what's
but
what's
basically,
yeah, what's on call? Like I think I understand it, but I don't know if everyone else would understand.
yeah.
Like what's an on call
Mm.
role? Like what does that entail?
Yeah, so basically when you're on call, basically that's when it's out of office hours, like there's reduced office like staff. So you don't just cover the ward that you're normally based at, you cover multiple sort of like floors, multiple sort of wards. And essentially because I'm the most junior doctor, so you kind of deal with every single sort of issue that is flagged up to us by like nursing staff. Yeah, so basically you act as the first line of defense against anything that happens in the hospital.
Um,
Yeah,
but you don't have
yeah.
to be in the hospital at all times, or like do you work?
Uh, so you stay in the hospital the whole
Oh,
time.
okay.
You get a room with like a very basic like bed and like a computer for you to do your work stuff. But um, how much you use the bed, it's very dependent on how busy you are.
Hmm.
Like there've been nights where I've gotten a good like maybe 2 hours on the bed.
Oh God.
Other times you kind of just you're just awake the whole time. So
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
that's. I mean, that's the life, really, you know. And
yeah.
um, don't know if you've been following the news lately, but obviously the NHS junior doctor staff have been
Yeah,
doing a strike lately.
yeah.
What's your kind of opinions on that? Do you agree with everything
Uh,
or?
no, no comments or anything. I mean, I have friends in NHS.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can see why they why people choose to go on strike and this sort of things. Yeah, I mean, it is a tough line of work, and I think sometimes it's can be very, yeah, it can be a very difficult sort of job to do on a day-to-day basis, and
Hmm.
I can see why some people feel that they're not being valued as they should be, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, no comments
No
is my
comment.
official
Fair
statement.
enough. We'll both
But
stay neutral on this one. We'll both stay neutral on this one. Just for everyone's information as well, today we're recording this on a Sunday. Hong Kong is actually playing right now in the Asia Cup.
oh yeah, they are
They're
actually.
playing. They're
Wait.
playing
What's
like what is it? What's the time now? I think it's like 12 minutes in. So
yeah?
if we're like
Let's
looking
see.
away, you'll know why. It's because
Yeah, wait.
I'm
Oh, you're
very
thinking
intently
UAE?
looking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we have played
Yeah,
play
UAE
one
is
of the big
yeah.
teams. But no, we'll focus on this
Mm.
for the time being. If Hong Kong scores or if anyone scores, you'll know.
You see Jun run around the room if Hong Kong scores, so
If we win
that's
that
quite
game,
obvious.
or even if we draw that game, that would be just probably the best result.
I
I mean,
mean, at,
yeah,
I mean, at least you're playing in the Asian Cup. Like,
I know. Yeah, I mean,
I
our
mean,
our Asia qualifying group was pretty. I wouldn't say easy, but it was easier than
mhm.
most other teams, and we kind
I
of got
mean, yeah,
lucky. We got
yeah. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. But I mean, saying that, like, I don't think like with the state of Singapore football, it makes much of a difference, to be honest.
yeah. We were talking about
Uh,
this like obviously on text, but we'll talk about it here. Your opinion on
yeah.
the Singaporean FA and how they are.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you said that there's a couple of players that, like, for example, like Perry Eaton, and
Yeah.
he really wants to play for Singapore, but obviously according to like news articles I've read, he has to like give up his British passport in order to play for
Yeah.
Singapore.
Exactly.
What's kind of
Mhm.
like your like status on the current Singaporean FA and how are things going at the moment?
I mean, I feel like the issue with the Singapore Football Association, and I think with a lot, you see this very commonly in a lot of the smaller sort of associations. Like they you have this lofty target of like trying to make the Asian Cup or the World Cup or whatever,
Yeah.
but team is just not good enough quality wise. Um, and I think they're just very, very slow to react to things. So like this Perry Young thing, like I think he's like 28 right now, something like that,
Something
27,
like that.
28.
He's quite youngish. I mean, he's not
Yeah, I
young,
think
but
I mean his name has been on the Singapore radar since like 20 when he was like 21 or 22 basically to play for Singapore. So
hmm,
you can imagine it's been like 5 or 6 years of them promising that they're working on it,
yeah.
and all we hear is that they are still working on it. And I think that's where it frustrates a lot of locals or fans. And that, I mean, we do like to see the local talents play. Don't get me wrong. We it's not that we want to see 11 players as foreign, like just naturalized players, but
Yeah.
I mean, we need quality in the team, and we are lacking that like right now. And I
Mm,
don't see what's. I honestly feel that a lot of times they're not that like. I can understand there's a lot of legal sort of like like challenges to go through, but some part of me just feels that they are just taking things a bit too slowly, and by the time it actually gets through, he's gonna be 33 and not like past his prime basically.
like, he still might be good enough to play, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably better than half the players in the
Yeah.
team, even at 33. But I mean, you want him in the prime
Oh
basically
yeah,
to
of course.
to,
Yeah.
to bring the national team up, not like some 34-year-old central defender who's like 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 thinking of retirement basically.
Yeah. I was thinking like like a national team similar. I won't say similar, but like Gibraltar, it was very recent, and you see a lot of like uncapped like English
Yeah,
or like
yeah.
Welsh or
Mm.
Scottish players who tried to turn out for Gibraltar, and I think it was like very similar. Like they've been waiting all their time to try to get into the big stage. So who knows? Perry might at age of 33, 34 might still play. He might still be good.
I mean, I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised. But it's just, yeah, like I mean, you have your local rivalries as well, and it's a bit painful when you see yourself losing to your local sort of rivals 4-0.
Yeah.
It's not amazing. It's not amazing.
Although, speaking of like local rivals, we in our warm up games we beat China 2-0.
China, right? Yeah, I saw.
So that was a really good game, and then we lost to
Ah,
Saudi
that's
Arabia
nice.
and Tajikistan as well, I think, or was it
I mean,
Turkmenistan. I can't remember.
China's just an interesting team, isn't it? They have so much manpower, and they I think they underperform
I'm
for
very
what
surprised,
they should.
especially with
Yeah,
the amount of money they put into the Super League, the Chinese Super League,
yeah,
back in the day.
exactly.
Yeah, I'm really
I mean,
surprised that they've.
they just underperform in every sort of like in every sort of criteria basically for a country of that size, and the amount of money they pump into the football team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we are not releasing this in China. This is not going out in China, by the way.
yeah.
We're gonna be so doomed. But
I mean, I'm a neutral football pundit.
yes, I can't say the same. I'm anti China and pro Hong Kong. This is not good for
Yeah,
me.
yeah, you have a
So
bias.
yeah, exactly. This is not good. But well, with this episode, this is just we're trying to get back into the podcast kind of thing. We might not do bi-weekly, but we may do maybe once a month, just to catch up with everything. Maybe get a guest or two in to try to speak
Mhm.
about them and all that kind of stuff. But for this one, we're just gonna have a nice little chill conversation. Speak about GPRO a little bit, kind of
Mhm.
the developments of what's happened, and just have a grand old time. So,
Yep.
Kai, I just want to speak to you about the current GPRO season. Obviously, you've
Yep.
recently relegated to a master
Yep.
after a
Yep.
valiant attempt at trying to get the title.
Yeah. Yeah.
How is that? How's those kind of seasons going? The seasons building up to your championship chasing season, and then the actual championship chasing season itself. How's that?
I mean, to be fair, I think building it up to the actual season wasn't as bad as as it seemed, because I think partially because when you're in elite, it's less of this like balancing of the drivers. You don't have to. You're not so focused on keeping the OA under control because you're in elite. You
Yeah.
just have to keep and the driver gets better and better with every season. But I think finances was more of the big issue, and I think and that was something that I actually. I mean, I thought I had quite a good like finance balance going into the actual elite season, but the actual push season. But I think that was the hardest part because you always sort of like you lose a lot of money actually in elite. So because of that, yeah, it's a bit of a struggle there. Yep.
So it's kind of money wise. If we'll just say we had like a bit more, like let's say like 40, 50 million more, would you think you would have done a lot better in that push
Mm,
season, or do you think it was just too
maybe,
much?
maybe. I mean, hard to say. I mean, to be fair, like I think I did share with the rest of the team. I think I was up against George in my championship
Yes,
push,
it was Georgia.
and yeah, and I think he always felt like he was like a step ahead, like, in terms of like strategy, in terms of planning for races. So it was an exciting season because like I think the points were a lot closer than that it could have been. Like it could have been a lot worse. I think I
Mm.
did manage to push and get good results in a number of races, but it was a tough season, and you never felt like I never felt comfortable. At least like I felt that like I'll be pushing in one race and then realizing that George has a real plan for the next race, for example. So I
Yeah,
think it was it's a good learning season. I think it's not the easiest season to go for it. Will extra money have helped? Probably, but I don't actually know how much the extent of it would have been, to be honest. Yeah.
yeah. From
Mm.
from what I remember of the season, I know that George had two or three non-scoring races at that time, and I believe you.
Yeah.
But then when he didn't score, I think you didn't score either. So it was kind of like
Yeah.
tips like
I
Mitchell.
think
Like
I think
I think you pushed it
yeah.
to the you pushed it to the very last race because I remember
Yeah.
it was like probably he was like 7 or 8 points ahead in the last race,
Yeah.
and you like
Yeah.
just tried to just hope for the best. But
Yeah, I think it was 6 points ahead in going to the final race,
yeah.
and
So
yeah,
do you feel like
yeah,
in any of those races where he didn't score any points and you didn't score any points, do you feel you could have tried and done
I mean,
something differently?
yeah, I mean, to be fair, race one where he didn't score points was a bit of the biggest shame because I had a random. I think if people remember in like the race one, and I think I was I mean, I wasn't going to win the race, but I was on par to like get up, I think like third or fourth, and then I had a random halfway through the race basically, and
Oh,
it was one of those bad randoms where like you just had a smoking car for the entire race, and
oh no,
so
yeah.
that's the end of your race basically. So, yeah, so I think that was a painful first race, but I think there was a few races that he didn't score. I think was it I can't remember which race was it. I think Avenisto or something like that. But I think I just got blocked really badly in that race. I don't think I could have done much more on my side to. I mean, you could say it's unlucky because I got blocked, but I don't think I could have done much more actually to try and push for a win there. So
Okay.
yeah, bit tough to say. Yeah, I think to be fair, like the races that he didn't score was a lot of times because he was prepping for the next race. So like even if I did score in those races, it's likely that he would have done come back even stronger the next race.
Okay.
And yeah, I think that was a big struggle for me. Yeah.
Fair. So looking to the future now, obviously you're back down to master. You're gonna
Mm.
try to rebuild, try to get a better package to go back up to elite and maybe chase for the title again.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I think I need a bit of time. Firstly, I think like that was the push season was quite draining mentally. You just need a little bit of a rest, you know. And I think Elite has gotten quite crazy over the last few seasons in terms of like Bridge Rocks and Hancock's again. So
Hmm.
yeah, so I think I took the easy way out, the coward's way out, and went back down to Master. Yeah, it's basically yeah. Rebuilding, I think, is the best way to put it. I think my finances are totally gone. Just need to review it and then start looking to sort of like another push maybe in the future. Hard to say, because it really balances out with like your timetable and your schedule as well. It's very difficult to plan for a push season without like the free time to do it, and I'm hoping that eventually a bit more free time comes out that I can actually start focusing on this again. Yeah.
For obviously last season I missed quite a bit, so I didn't actually see who won
Mhm.
Elite, but I went to check yesterday.
Apostle.
Yeah, Postle
Yeah.
won. I didn't realize that he won his 10th Elite Championship, which was
Yeah.
unreal.
He's, yeah. He's
Do
done
you
it.
think there'll be
He's
like
done
a
it.
do you think there'll be like another manager like him where he'll dominate for so many seasons, even if he might not win, he'll still probably try and chase for titles and stuff like that. Do you think there'll be someone that can win another 10 Elite Championships just like himself?
Mm, no, I don't think so. I think Postle is just a leak on his own. Like from the day he stepped into this game, like you look at his statistics, it's just unrealistic. Like it's just different from everyone else.
Yeah.
Like he's able to maintain his package in elite for quite a long period of time, and yeah, he did drop back to pro to review his package again, but that probably only makes him a lot stronger now and more ready for like another push. And I think last season actually did show that, because it wasn't a very easy season as well. It wasn't the best temperature for like bridge rocks,
Hmm.
but I think he still did very well. And I think Dominic is not the easiest opponent as well to challenge against.
Fair. Well, obviously,
Okay. So,
never been to Elite, so I kind of no idea how everything everything works from pro upwards. But it does seem from my eyes anyway that it looks as though there's always like a few people that are kind of like in and around that
yeah,
area pretty much, like even if it's not for like consecutive seasons, even if it's just for like let's say like for one season they'll be like
yeah,
challenging, then they'll stop for a little bit and then they go back to challenging. It just seems to be like
yeah.
just repeating. Do you think there's
Mhm.
any
I
like
think.
maybe changes in Elite that you might think can potentially probably bring other
mm,
people into it, or is it just a matter of people just trying to just don't?
what I would like to see actually is like people from other teams like make it up to be in that realm, because I think if you look into the names in the top of elite, it tends to be names from the expected teams that you expect to do well. So like your Malatis, for
Hmm.
example, George was up there for quite a period of time before he retired. And then you had like some of the other Malatis who has always like Jasper and a few others who has always been around in the top sort of like the zone. The Jaguars as well, like you see some of them like Postle being a common name. Rotor as well is quite a common name actually at the top for quite a period of time before he retired as well. Or not really retired, but just left the team essentially. Um, yeah, so I mean, it would be nice to see like some new names. I think Lorenzo has the potential to do. He's joined the Malatis obviously now, uh, but yeah, I think he could be one that could stay around the top few for quite a period of time. I think, like at least from what I know about him, he's quite a good manager and he knows what he's playing with the game, and I think that is quite helpful. Yeah.
In your opinion, then, who would you think would be the next team to like be up there with like
Mm.
multiple elite managers?
I
Personally, I
mean, the
think
French teams.
yeah, I was gonna say probably one of the French teams will probably do it.
Yeah.
It's
Maybe the
surprising.
French.
It's surprising that we haven't had a French winner yet.
Yeah,
We had a
I guess.
Belgian winner, but we never had a French winner,
Mm,
which is very surprising considering the dominance of the French teams in recent team
yeah,
championship times. Anyway,
yeah, definitely. I think maybe the French teams. Yeah, I think they have the potential to do well. I guess it's just more of a matter of I don't really know what the teams are planning because I know that the French teams tend to coordinate their pushes for like team titles and stuff like that as well, which can make it. I mean, it can make it quite difficult actually for a player to try and push for the title and also balance like team pushes and stuff because yeah, you had I mean there is a level of sacrifice involved when you try to push for a team title basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Um.
yeah.
Well, we'll speak about. Want to speak about more about teams and especially our team, Nuvolari.
Hmm.
Um. How long have you been in Nuvolari now? I can't really remember how long you've.
It's been a long time. Let me just check. Basically,
It must be
I've
like at
been
least
in
like
there.
30 odd seasons maybe now. I don't know.
Yeah, okay, I joined them from season 54, so
Oh, okay, it's even longer then.
that's yeah, about 43 seasons. Yeah, 45
43 seasons.
seasons. Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
yeah,
Obviously,
long standing.
I joined since season 82, so
Mm.
I think it's like 15, 16 seasons.
Yeah,
Only recently changed, obviously due to last season and what's happened last season, and
yeah,
yeah, so
yeah.
we managed to get someone else on there. But kind of, what's your like opinion on? Well, firstly, how are you feeling in the team? Do you feel like you've maybe outgrown the team now, or do you think you've still got more stuff to give and more stuff to kind of help the
Uh,
team push along?
I think there's always things to you can always help the team in. I don't think that you can ever really outgrow a team. I think in GPRO because I think there's still a lot of big question marks. I think when it comes to certain knowledge of different things, and I think ultimately what we all look for as managers is to try and find ways to simplify how we do things because I think there's too many informations out there and there's a lot of different data to synthesize.
Hmm.
Um, I think what differentiates, you know, a top manager from say another sort of a good manager is really the ability to be able to yeah to use the data that you have to actually produce something that can help you moving forward because if not the data is basically just like numbers essentially. I think because of that, like I think there's still a lot of work that can be done. I think like I believe that because you're in a team, you know that we've had a few quality of life updates as well to our own team planning and
Yep.
to try and make it a little more easier to assess each other's sort of planning to help each other and guide each other through other stuff which are a bit more confidential and I wouldn't say here, but essentially there are a lot of like changes in the background and I think it's looking good, and it's quite nice to be part of the team, like helping out and contributing to this sort of like development of the new sort of like different new aspects of the team, sort of like planning and really the tools really because I mean it's nice because there's a lot of members in the team who have pushed for championships before. Some might have won it before. I
Can't
mean, a lot of
can't
them have
remember.
retired now, but yeah, but then a lot have failed as well, and I think these experiences actually goes together, help to improve the team as a whole. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Um. Because I remember when I first joined Nuvo. I knew Nuvolari as a kind of a huge kind of family team that was in GPRO for quite a while. I think when I joined, it was kind of during your lull period where a lot of people, I won't say are like they're not retiring, but obviously
Yeah, they
don't
were
post too
kind
much
of
or they
there,
don't.
right?
Yeah, they don't
Right.
really do much. Like our Discord channel was pretty bare
Yeah.
at that point. I mean, we were like doing season plans and stuff like that, but we never like properly like had the full on like daily
Hmm.
chat or like
Yeah.
just a flow of conversation going. And I think with the new additions that we had, so Simone and Alexandre and
Hmm.
Alex, who both came in a few seasons ago, they've been a really big kind of
Yeah.
new wave of fresh air
Hmm.
that just came through. They've been pushing a lot of
Hmm.
projects,
Yeah.
and
So
obviously now, yeah,
yeah, I think the nice thing about it is that I think it's, um we kind of knew as a team what we needed. I think that was the main thing because like I think in terms of like banter wise, we had people like Kuba and a few others
Mm,
who were
mm,
good at banter, but I think the team at that point in time was kind of like stagnating in terms of what we could do because of the limitations that we had. Like I would say that I tried doing a few research myself as well, but I'm not that good in terms of like analysis of like complex mathematical problems and stuff. So yeah. So I think the new additions were quite helpful. Simon was amazing. I think he's, yeah, he's just a genius when it comes to like math, like solving things. So he yeah, that was really really helpful because I think when I talk about moving from like numbers to actually like equations and stuff, I think that was where the big thing comes from. Um, and Alex is just amazing in that I mean he works in IT, and I think like I think Day was basically the only one managing the entire like online tool that we had and everything for quite a while, and it can be
mm.
quite a lot of work. So having an extra hand to help out in coming up with like new quality live projects, and some of our biggest projects actually to date for quite a while, has been amazing. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think he does have inquisitive mind as well, which helps a lot. I think when it comes to probing
Mm.
and solving some of the game's greatest mysteries, basically. To
Yeah,
put it that way. Yeah.
it is good. It's good. I do love watching like when you and Alex or Simone and Alex or anyone who've been working together since they came in. It's just fascinating to watch kind of the whole
Yeah.
progress of everything going through. And one of the things that we haven't mentioned, but I thought we'd mention here with Alex is that he created a lot of GPRO shortcut like scripts that that aren't like proper game changers as such, but they are insanely
Quality of
infinitely
life.
helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel
Quality of life upgrades basically is the best way to
yeah,
put
and I
it.
feel I feel I feel I feel those are kind of like yeah, just yeah, he's just insane in terms of what he does, and
Yeah, I mean, he's IT genius. That's the best way to put it.
I mean
Coding genius.
yeah, I mean he managed to get our one of our offline sheets online, and that's been ridiculously yeah, it's just been
I know.
just how yeah, it's crazy how he does this.
I
I
think that
wouldn't be
has
able to
helped a lot as well. Yeah. I mean, that has helped a lot, I think, with activity as well, because like it's a lot easier now, for us to say, "Oh, have a look at my budget sheet online,"
hmm,
as compared to in the past where we had to screenshot
screenshot
parts of
yeah
it manually, and I think not everyone was able to access the sheets as well because of like computer issues and things like that. And now everything's online,
yeah
in a more secure way, so that we can actually use some of the better sort of like tools that we have to help to refine the tool as well. So
yeah,
yeah, that's nice actually. That's really nice in that one regard.
and it's a
Um,
lot more user friendly as well because I remember from the previous sheet that we had to make sure we remembered to type the specific day like specific letters correctly in order to not like do the wrong thing. Make sure you set it to the certain level that you're racing at so that the calculations are all correct. Whereas on the online thing now it's all preset based on what
auto,
you
yeah,
have.
it's
Yeah,
auto.
so it's
Yeah,
just absolutely insane. Uh,
indeed.
yeah. Well, we do love our team. They're a great bunch of people. Um, we have, we have three Nuvolari teams in the cup uh, this season.
Are we all in the cup? Are we
Yeah, we're,
actually all
we're
in the cup?
we're in the
Wow.
cup. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
As soon as I join Predators, that's it. We're in the cup.
I mean, you don't have. Do you have a penalty for?
Yeah,
You
like
don't
a
have the
pro.
penalty,
I
do
got a
you?
pro. I got a pro penalty. Yeah, 25%.
Oh, I
I'm
see.
not doing
Okay,
much because I didn't. I finished like 20th or something. It's like
fair,
zero point
fair.
0.5 points.
Yeah, but
but
I mean, you have Paul in the team who's probably going
yeah,
to
so I
destroy
think
the.
Marvin's trying to promote as well, and Paul's promoting. So yeah,
Yeah,
we've got two really good
yeah.
masters on there. So that's probably why he's just chasing us up, which is
That's
good.
true. That's true.
But yeah, I don't think we'll get into the next round. But anyway, that's
Yeah, yeah. I saw you're against the Vipers, aren't you?
yeah, we're
Oh,
we're not going for it. I'm pretty sure I think it's a long shot at
yeah.
best.
Was it? It was not last season. It was just 2 seasons ago where we had the Pirates versus Racing. I think was it
That was the
when we
semi-finals,
hit the
yeah, and
semi-finals. Yeah,
that was the season
oh,
we
that was
finished
epic.
fourth.
That was epic.
That was when we finished fourth that season.
Yeah,
We had a really really good season that one because I remember
yeah,
I was
yeah,
promoting from amateur. We had a
yeah,
couple of people promoted from pro, and I think
yeah.
you were pushing
I
for a
was
title as well. Was it? Was it?
I don't think I was. I don't think I was pushing the title. It was my post-title season where I basically was using Hancock's and just
just
kind of doing
fair.
Hancock things. Really, yeah,
But yeah, so we were scoring a lot of points. So yeah, that was a good match. Racing Pirates because we never knew who's gonna be
yeah.
number one and number two. But that
But we
season
know
said
now.
otherwise.
We know why. We know that Pirates are lowest, and
uh, well, I'm not racing anymore temporarily. So uh, have to pass the reins
yeah,
to Robert now. But hopefully you, hopefully
then
you
you
keep
can
you guys up
bring
there. Um,
Predators to glory.
we did say.
Beat Pirates, beat
Oh,
Pirates.
imagine that. I'll be kicked out. Everyone will be kicked out. They would not be happy about that one. I'll tell you that much. But no, it's great. It's great to see, like especially in GPRO now. I see a few more old names coming back into the game, and I'm just wondering like how far can GPRO push its current game format now? Do you think there's like more that it can offer, or do you think this is pretty
Hmm.
much the final bit, like the final stage of what it is?
I think it's a tough one, isn't it? Because you have to cater to the interest of the old group. Like basically, people, all these like most of us here, um, played the game in a certain format, a certain style, and if you rock the boat too much, it can be quite difficult sort of change for many of the old people who might end up leaving the game. But at the same time, you have to cater to the new sort of like the new gamers. So I think especially with the move of the game to Steam, I think like I would say that Steam gamers are a very different breed of players compared to the ones who used to access GPRO in the past.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I don't think the game would change massively just because I don't think it's like coding wise, it's just not realistic to expect anyone to recode the entire game. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I feel like it's a tough balance because on one hand, a lot of the regulars who pay to keep the game alive, in a sense, are basically not going to be very open to a radical, very drastic change. I feel,
yeah.
yeah.
Do you think there'd be like
So
any
yeah,
like
yeah.
is like any one feature that you might want GPRO to like implement, like anything? If you had the power to just
Hmm.
put one thing in right now in GPRO, like is there anything that you feel could benefit the game greatly?
Remove randoms.
Oh god. I mean, a lot of people would love that, but I don't know. I
Yeah,
kind
no,
of, yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, I feel like yeah, nah. Removing randoms is always the pet peeve of everyone, isn't it?
It
Get them
is.
out now. But I mean, there was talks in the past. I think I remember that they used to talk about having a multiplayer sort of league where you could race with friends. I mean, I don't know how you would see that in like in GPRO because obviously you can't give another sort of avenue for people to sort of like farm data essentially. But that would be quite cool actually. Like a league where everybody has the same car level. Separate from your elite or your pro or whatever. Because obviously, right now to race in the same group, you either have to all promote so well to the point that you're in elite together, or somehow hope that you're in the same group by chance, or be in rookie, which
Hmm.
I'm not sure whether I'm willing to sacrifice all my untrainables to go back to rookie as well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I do like the idea of like a multiplayer league. Like you said, especially it would definitely cater to the like the
Mm,
Steam players. They would
exactly,
definitely
yeah.
would want to have that kind of format going on. But
Yeah, like a more like a more informal sort of thing where like just a lobby with like say maybe 20. You don't it doesn't have to be 40 players, but you can cap it at like 10 or 20 maybe. you know, everyone starts with the same car level at the start of the season, and you see how it goes, and it could be quite fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how it would, don't know how it will work, like in terms of preventing more data from being farmed, but it'd be quite cool, like can you imagine like just everyone from say Nuvolari racing for example just being in the same group to have a showdown of who is actually the best
That would be fun.
Nuvolari racing driver.
Although the chances are we might be all using the same same setup, so
That is true.
it might
That
just
is
it might
true.
just turn out to who'd be the luckiest to get the good driver. But just because I was thinking
Yeah.
about this question quite recently, like what can GPRO do to try to not only
Mm,
get new players in but also improve, well not improve but just to retain the old current players. I'm just wondering, like, is there like any way in which the racing setup format can be changed? Because obviously at the moment it's still quite simplified, where it's just you put your setup in, then you put your uh, liters of fuel, and then your risk, and that's it.
mm,
Like, is there any like way that could be like like more expandable? So like you maybe I don't know, maybe you can like do certain like different I don't know, like different
like
like
what modification
yeah.
modification
So
so are
like
you thinking more of like motorsport manager where you can where I think if I'm not wrong, is it motorsport manager you can adjust like different sort of balances and stuff. I can't remember. I
I've
used to
I've,
play that
I've
a
never
bit,
played
but
multiple managers, so I don't
sure.
actually know. But yeah, like for like that. So like let's say like if temperature hits 20 to 25, change to this
Mm.
setup, and if temperature hits below that, then do
So
this
basically,
one.
the ability to change setup basically in race essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, but not obviously like live, but
Mm.
still keep the format where everything's all pre-run, and
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Mm.
have the option to maybe do a little bit more. So like for example, like mixed races, if it rains and doesn't rain, at least you can have that option to try
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's
change from a wet to a dry setup or something like that. So
yeah. I think it's interesting. It's an interesting some option. I guess the only question, of course, is then you have to balance with the fact that there is a bit of a knowledge misgap. Or the best way I'll put it is like there's a knowledge gap between the teams who are at the top and the teams at the who are newer, like with newer players. And you don't want to complicate the game too much, such that this gap between like the experienced and the non-experienced players grows even larger as well. Because obviously, with I think you've been in the Nuvolari, and I think most even the top teams can say that you get basically precise setups without too much of a difficulty because the formulas are already been cracked. Whereas a new player coming in probably doesn't have that freedom. But I can see where you're coming from. It can be quite interesting to see that. I just don't know how it would look like in the actual
no,
game because
yeah, I understand that.
yeah,
Yeah, I didn't
yeah,
didn't think about it in a way of it like damaging the newer players.
that
Maybe in rookie you don't have that option. Maybe it can
maybe
be
in
like
rookie, yeah,
maybe in like pro and above it'll be the same as when you do tire selections. You can do a
maybe.
more a
Hmm.
more thorough race
I
setup.
mean, alternatively, might be quite fun to have multiple tires in a race and dictate that you have to have two tires of different sets to finish a race.
Hmm.
That could be quite interesting. I think that could change things up quite a bit, uh, without actually interfering with most of the basic mechanics of the game. So like for right now, if you start hearts, for example, you have to be on hearts the entire race. But if you make it such that you have to choose between two different sets in the race, so like hearts and say mediums,
Yeah,
that might make things more interesting. People might have to change up their strategy to try and avoid getting blocked because the blocking in the game is so ridiculously crazy.
yeah,
Um, and it's not as simple as anyone as a simple two stopper because obviously you had to change from a hearts to a medium, for example. Your medium's probably not going to make it to the end of the race. In a simple sort of a one stop strategy, for example. So might have to change up your strategy as well. So
no, no, that
might be
sounds yeah.
interesting thought. Yeah. You see like a variety of strategies, I think, in that case.
No, I think that's like yeah. I think I've disregarded that just for the fact that because people suggested it and everyone was like, no, in our days we never did this and they said they're never going to do this, but it might be
Oh,
time where kind of these ideas might have to be relooked at and see whether it can be implemented.
yeah,
I like the two tire kind of thing, but maybe don't make it like a mandatory thing. If you want to do one tire, you can do one tire. But like if you feel like a hard and a medium would benefit you better than hard and a hard, maybe go for that
yeah,
risk. Who
definitely.
knows?
Yeah, that could be cool. Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, I think I'll leave the two tire thing out, but like give the option to change tires if necessary, or when you want to, like first stint
Yeah,
to do this, second stint do that. Don't put specifically how many like laps you want to do, or just so it'll still be
yeah,
like
yeah,
what it is now, but you're literally just
yeah.
changing.
Basically, yeah, you're just adding extra cap. Basically, say like preferred dry tire, essentially.
Yeah, you haven't
So
played
like,
F1 Revisited, have you? John Beagle's
eh,
game.
not F1 Visited. No, I not.
His setup thing was very similar, where you choose
Mhm,
the liters of fuel you want to do, the risk on the certain stint,
mhm.
and the tire that you want to do on that stint as well. So
Yeah,
it's kind of very similar to that. So actually, it is there. Like someone
yeah.
has done it
I mean,
before, but
yeah. I mean, you look at as the Ultimate Race Manager, for example, URM. They do this sort of similar system where you can use multiple tires if you wish to do so. Um, of course, it's technically a different game. It's yeah, but you can see kind of how it could work in action, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we'll just have to see how Vlad and Co sort this out. Um, but yeah. Speaking of foreign games, have you been like playing many foreign games lately? I haven't been following the foreign games as much recently, but
mm, yeah. So not as much as before. I think starting work you had to be a bit more realistic. That I can't realistically juggle that many games anymore, and I started sort of like choosing which ones I want to play in. But there's a few that I play in. I think Ultimate Race Manager is one that I just kind of started. I don't think I'm that good at it. I just randomly calculate and generate out random numbers from a list of estimated tire wears and tire fuel consumption things that I just randomly worked out by drawing a line on the graph or some sort of thing like that essentially. But it's not too bad. I think I'm fourth on it right now actually,
oh wow, okay,
which is pretty good for someone who has zero sort of like yeah, zero things, but
yeah,
basically not too many things. Yeah, I still play some of John Bigger's games basically because they've been ongoing for quite a while now. But apart from that, not too many other things. I think.
yeah,
Yeah, I plan to. I mean, I was hosting a game, and I plan to start hosting again. It's just finding the time to actually sit down to re prepare the like the sheet and everything for the new season. And I think that's probably something that I need a bit more time to do. My plan was to start in December, but I think that got a bit shaft because I got a bit busy. But
yeah.
yeah, see
So
what happens. Yeah.
fair. What game were you planning on redoing?
So I think some people know that I host oh I can't even remember my game now. This is bad. Uh, Knockout Super League. Yes, that's right.
Ah, okay,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Yes. The
Is
game
that
of ultimate deception.
that's the one? That's the one where it goes through multiple months, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the one
Yeah,
with multiple months, and you choose between like resting in a month or playing in a month. And
yeah.
even playing in a month, you decide how much you want to spend because your energy doesn't automatically regenerate the maximum again in the next month.
Hmm.
It is an ongoing rolling process essentially. That's the best way to put it.
That's right. I kind of like those games. The games where it's like it runs over season after season. So like, for example, I know Balint used to host a strategy sevens game
Yeah.
where it's very similar. Where it's like a tennis format where you play and your ranking points do not reset from the previous year. So you got to try to regain those ranking points or
Yeah.
if you lose them, then you lose your
Yeah.
positioning and stuff like that. So I do like those kind of games there where it's just you
Mhm.
your success is based off many seasons rather than just one season. And yeah,
Yeah.
I do like
I
those.
think it's nice because I feel like it gives some recognition to who are the what we call the all-time greats essentially, because these are the ones who stay at the top of the ranking table for multiple seasons.
Mm,
Um, yeah, and I mean at the same time, it's also trying to find a system that balances it out and doesn't be too unforgiving to the new players, for example. So, like for example, in my game, I think I try to make it such that the December tournament, for example, it's like a yeah, I try to create as an invites only tournament basically for the top few ranked, but basically rather than using the actual rank world ranking system that I have, I create a separate ranking system for just that season itself, so that the top players in that season gets invited for this like invites only competition. But
yeah,
but it is you don't discount the performances from multiple seasons essentially.
yeah.
Yeah,
So okay, so you have two different tables. That makes more sense then. Yeah, especially when you try to if a new player started that season, then they
yeah,
still have the
yeah,
option to try
exactly,
to. That makes more
exactly.
sense. Yeah, fair.
Yeah. I'm very proud of. I'm proud of the game. Okay, I spent a lot of time thinking into the rules for this game to try and balance it out to be as fair as possible, and it was not.
It is
It was
difficult
quite difficult.
yeah, it's difficult
Yeah.
to think of new games, and even now, like new games coming out, like Nate just had a new game called what Give and Go or something like that, or Give and Take. I can't remember what it's
I
called.
think so.
Oh
Yeah,
no, it's no
I
Giver's
saw something.
Gain. That's what it is. It's very
Yeah.
similar to SRS in a way, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't actually fully read the thread at the time,
Yeah.
but it is still fascinating after like 12, 13 years of GPRO. Well, it's longer than that now, isn't it? It's like 18 years of GPRO. People are still
Yeah.
thinking of new games, and just it's insane how many just talented
Yeah.
and just insane
Mhm.
people there are out there that can just create a game out of thin air and make it like their own. So
Yeah, I think you have the classic games which never goes away, like your podium prediction and GPRO Vision, which never goes away. But it's nice to see some new games. I think brings a bit of like some new interest basically for people who are not that serious in GPRO racing as well.
yeah,
And I mean we all love games. I mean that's why we are on GPRO to be honest.
that's true. Yes.
You wouldn't wander onto a random gaming site if you're not interested in playing games. So I think it can be quite interesting sort of but quite interesting thought essentially
Yeah.
to see like different sides of like new types of games or inspirations from board games, for example. I think yeah.
Yeah. That's also yeah.
Mhm.
One thing I did want GPR to kind of do is maybe push the forums out a bit more because I know it's just like a fleeting feature in their game.
Yeah.
But I feel it's such a massive part of the game now. I don't know if it should be part of like not even a part of the tutorial, just maybe something like when they do like their full site tour, maybe they have
Hmm.
access to the forums and to see what's
Yeah.
there. I think that would be great, especially to maybe just generate more people to stay in the game, even if they
Yeah.
might not be racing.
Mhm.
Um,
That's true. That's true. Yeah. I mean, I think the forums have been a bit of a. Yeah, it's not as noisy as it was before. I think definitely. I think a lot of our gamers have left the game and they no longer play the game anymore. But yeah, I think some interest would always be nice. I think it's always nice to see a new person join in the gaming community and create games as well. But it is a dying trend, I think. Like you tend to see the same names create the games over and over again nowadays. I feel like you rarely see new creators. And even with new creators, it's very tough to get the attention that you want to actually make a successful game. Like there are games which looks quite promising, but I think with lack of like I think is it Ricardo who created a game or Balin who created a game recently, but they couldn't run it because there wasn't enough interest, and I think that's the main issue with the forums right now. And I think that's not we have. some really good creators on it, but I think the gaming community is unfortunately the foreign game community actually is like shrinking, and you need the players to actually play the games basically.
Of course, yeah. Hopefully, this episode will let everyone know about the forum game
Exactly.
area. Come on, join. We need people here.
Join it. You're hearing it, like what are you waiting for? Click. I can even tell you, click forum, pick the foreign games, and then have a look at it.
Oh,
There's a lot
there's
of
so many.
quite amazing games. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what would be? I think there should be a probably a thread on the forum games pinned where we should have like recommendations of
Like
of
all
what to
the
play, and I just like updates every now and then.
yeah, I think they tried to do that with the external site, I think, but I'm not sure whether that really took off. I think.
Um,
Uh,
no, I
yeah,
don't
I
think
think
so. I don't think it's
there's
been moving for a while now.
yeah, yeah. So it's a shame. It's a shame. Yeah.
But yeah, the foreign game section, yeah, since I started, was it 2009, 2010? It was, I think it peaked then. I think load and load of players came on. There was multiple games
Yeah.
going. We had Mafia, we had F1 forum game, which is the Finnish game. We had Point Prediction, like
Yeah.
you said. Tug, the Elite Racing games. We had multiple of those because there was too many people, so they had to create the
Yeah.
TMRG, create like four different divisions. There's just loads of different and wonderful games
Yeah.
that people were playing. And yeah, I think when people were leaving, kind of think the game just slowly died down with it,
Yeah.
and eventually it is what it is now. But
Mhm. I
hopefully,
think the biggest victim. I think the biggest victim was the Mafia games. I think. I think in the past it used to be quite common to find games with 20 players. Just long ass games that would last for like months basically. But
yeah,
I don't think it's possible to even get a 20 game Mafia, a
we
20 player Mafia game
I
at
think
this point of time.
we struggle to even get maybe a 9, 10 player game at the moment now, so
Yeah.
it's difficult. But
And I mean, I don't blame it because I think like everyone, I think when we started off in the foreign games, all most of us were students, um, teenagers, students, just having a lot more free time, and I think we have all grown up and then started working and all, but renewal is just not amazing. I think.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah, well, hopefully we'll have that new influx of students that come in
Yes.
and
Yes.
start playing. That'll be great. It'll be good to get us back up on track. But no, I think pretty much hit the time. Don't want to keep you on for too long. I don't know what time it is over there. Is it like 11 o'clock or something?
Yeah, it's like 11:15 now.
Good. Alright, we'll leave you guys to it. Thank you very much, Kai, for joining me for this episode. Really appreciate it.
No worries. No,
Um,
glad to be here.
we'll try to do this monthly, but no guarantees. But it's been fun. It's been fun talking to you guys. It's been fun talking to you, Kai. Update on the Asian Cup. We're losing 1-0.
Oh shit.
But
UAE.
it was a penalty, so I'm a little bit okay about that.
I mean, wait,
But
it's Hong Kong. I mean, are they dominating the stats, so it's really just basically
I've,
destroying Hong Kong really bad.
yeah,
So
I need to watch the second half
I
because
actually
I need
understand.
to just see what's happening.
I mean,
Because we are doing
see
really
the
well.
stats.
It's just yeah, we're just not
Yeah,
scoring. But anyway,
yeah,
it's been great talking to you. It's been good talking to you
yeah.
guys as well. Next month, hopefully, we'll try to get a guest in as well. But until then,
Indeed, indeed.
it's been both of us, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.